kicked off our Friday morning at Bathurst by heading to Harris Park. Now, Harris Park is located behind the grandstand along the main straight of Bathurst. I was on my own until I met up with the guys who had gone a little bit earlier as they were watching parts of the practice racing happening. It is at Harris Park that you'll find lots of the merchandise tents. There is a food court and there's also a pub that's set up and a big main stage. It's where you get the scenic flights, and it's also where you buy tickets to go to the top of Mount Panorama. They're $5 for each person, and that will take you right up to the top of the mountain because you can't walk up there any other way from this part of the track. It is also from here that you go over the overbridge, and that will take you to the back of the pits. As we made our way up and down Harris Park checking out some of the stalls, we did pop our head around the grandstands to see what the vantage point looked like for watching the big race. We then made our way over the footbridge, which was fun to do when there were cars going underneath because they would quite often backfire as they were going up Pitt Straight, and it would send this huge sonic boom through the overpass, so that was pretty cool. It scared a few kids, always good for a laugh. We took a big walk up and down Pitt Straight and checked out what the teams were up to in the garages. They're all busy at work. And then we checked out another area of the track. Now this area is across from ridges. There's a stage set up and also a sort of mobile pub and food outlets and so on. Very muddy, you can see, it's getting very muddy. We also had decided that this was not our preferred viewing position for the race. We are back in Harris Park now, checking out some of the old police cars.
So what's the Chrysler? Is it Charger? I didn't know the police had charges. Good old Charger.
Across from the police car display, there was a Matchbox child fun sort of centre set up. A lot of these sponsors were doing giveaways as well. If you're there at the right time, they had timetabled sort of events and things that you could attend to. There was also a big Repco garage. You could go up there and see the track from up on top.
How long was staying in the bar for?
I don't know. I have no idea.
We found the pub trackside and took a seat and right in front of the big screen so we can continue watching some of the practices and drank some mid-strength Great Northern beer which they sold at the track. On the Thursday and Friday night they also had entertainment, and this is where I met Elvis. The entertainment started about 4 o'clock and finished at around 7:30. It was really, really good. And then it was time to
We're
head
on the
back.
Richmond Road.
After arriving on Tuesday and seeing this campground quite empty, it was really noticeable that this place was really starting to fill up now. People had brought their own portaloos, their own marquees, lots of tents, vans, they were decorating, there were flags everywhere, things cooking, people driving around selling ice and firewood. What you are seeing here is one of the many amenities blocks. The darker blue are the toilets, and in behind are the showers. They're also cubicles. This perspective really lets you know how big this campground is and how many people are in it.
Wow.
And way off in the distance, we can still see people lined up waiting to get in.
As far as I can freaking see. When we left this morning, there wasn't that many campers there. There must have been about half of them turn up today, which will make it interesting to see what the roads look like, I think.
Whilst we had a bit of rain over the last couple of days, it was nothing compared to what was coming. We didn't know that yet, so the roads weren't as bad as what I imagined at this point.
Bit of a walk back to our campsite, and I've got to tell you that this place has come alive now. We've got smells and sights and music and all sorts of fun things happening. It's pretty cool. And I think we've just got to our corner. I'm using the tree as a marker. This street was empty when we left it this morning. Now it's chockers. Here's home.
Once we got back into camp, we put on some
Here we
tunes,
are.
had a bit of a snack, and ended up the fireplace. We managed to keep our wood a bit dry, so it was a nice way to end the evening. The next day we made another trip into town and then met up with the boys back at the Trackside Bar. We watched some of the racing on the telly, and Corey treated us to a really nice lunch, and we watched another band called the Hip Replacements. I found myself a little mountain panorama, and then we did a walk back over the footbridge past the museum to camp. Just had to make a quick stop at Harris Park first to pick up something. I don't remember what it was. The crowds were down here at Harris Park as well. Seemed that the weather was starting to keep people away. It was Friday at this stage. At different times you could go out and walk the track.
Forever.
The addition of that little bit extra rain was making things a little more interesting today. The campground was packed. This is usually an empty paddock. What you see here is the campground.
Back the other way. Or should I go from here? There's home. Alright. We're down in there. And the motorhome park is up there somewhere. And there's that panorama there. This is our track home. We've had another good day. I actually went back after watching a bit of the race at the Chase earlier today and had a bit of a snooze, and then made some sandwiches. And actually no, I made some sandwiches after we went into town, took them up to the Chase, watched a bit of that, and then after that Ange and I went back to the camp, and then we went up to meet the boys up at the bar watched a bit of the band, went for a walk along the pits, and we're just heading back into camp now. And it's probably about 6:30 at night. And it's still raining. It started raining today again, so it's a bit muddy. Gotta watch my step. No one wants to slip over and get a wet bottom. Yeah. And the guys are going the wrong way again. I'll let them go that way. I'm going this way. What you doing?
The amenities box were getting pretty untidy now, and we were starting to think if anyone didn't bring gum boots, they're a bit mad. There were some campers who were pulling up stumps because of the rain, not so much because of it was uncomfortable at Bathurst, but because they were worried about what was happening at home. There's a lot of flooding happening around the Central West and also up on the northwest coast of New South Wales. And the people next to us lived up that way, so they did have to head home in a hurry, which is a real shame. Hope they are all okay. When Angie and I were in town in the morning, we were looking for an extra tarp to put down because it was getting quite muddy in the campsite. And then I had a brainwave at Aldi and bought a whole bunch of sugarcane mulch, and this stuff worked a treat on top of our muddy ground. Others were ordering bark chips, looking for wood pallets, getting extra tarps, black builder's plastic, anything really.
This is what it's like under the tarp. So we'll just put that down there and pretend that it's not happening.
That ends our Thursday and Friday trackside, but we still have the big race and the shootout to go, so make sure you tune into the next video. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos, and until then, I'll catch you in the next one.